Hey, Coach.
Morning.
Morning. Guys, we'll go ahead and use the raise your hand feature for questions for Coach Moren. So whenever you guys are ready, you can go ahead and do that and get started. Haley, I see you're first, so go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Good morning.
Morning.
We're all thinking about Grace and just wondering if you had an update for us after her Sunday MRI.
Yeah, no other update, Haley, than what I, talked about on our radio show on Monday. She's day to day. And that's about it. She won't obviously be playing tomorrow, but, that's where we're at. So she's day to day right now.
Wilson.
Terry, just on Grace, I know the other day said even though she's not playing, she's still a leader. She's still contributing. I'm just wondering what is that? What is she doing? What does that look like in action?
Well, she's obviously the most seasoned veteran, experienced age-wise, other than AG, but AG is just a one-time grad transfer here. So, she's our leader, and she obviously knows our system both offensively and defensively better than anybody. Because she's been, we pushed her over to the point guard position. She and I were very much in tune offensively. And so I think she provides, again, just wisdom and experience, and she can talk to those guys still in practice and on the bench, and provide all of that advice plus enthusiasm, energy. Grace is so passionate about this game. She loves it. I know it's killing her that she's not going to be able to participate tomorrow night, but she still has it in perspective. She still knows that she's mature enough to realize that there's still other things that she can do to help this team.
Tyler.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. With Sydney now in the starting lineup, I guess, is there anything differently that's being asked of her in terms of just her role now that she's starting, or is it the same thing as when she was coming off the bench?
There's nothing else that she's going to be doing just because she's in that starting role. I mean, her role is still the same, right? I mean, she's at that 4 spot. She's always been at that 4 spot, whether she started, whether she comes off the bench, nothing changes in terms of responsibility.
Howard.
Coach, a couple of things. One, just in terms of big picture for what this game means, what are you hoping to learn about your team out of tomorrow night?
I don't know, Howard, that there's things I have to learn about this team. I mean, I think what we learned, in Vegas when Grace went down, because it was early, that we still have enough firepower. We still have enough pieces out there that can put points on the board. I thought our level of toughness was incredible. I thought Chloe Moore McNeil handled herself at the point guard position in a tremendous fashion. So, I don't know that there's any more I'm going to learn about this group. I love this group. They have become, I think, their chemistry is good, but there's a toughness about them that I appreciate, that I wondered how long it would take us, to get to the point where, I could look out there and go, there's a toughness about us. I've been able to say that the last 2 years, with the group that we had. And anytime that you bring, new faces, 7 of them, into a team like, we've had, you're just, my curiosity was always, how quickly can we become that tough, gritty team? And they showed that from as soon as Grace went out. There was a level of toughness where they, I think all of us, including myself, were a little bit out of sorts for a couple minutes there, but then there was a job to do, and that's what I appreciated, the maturity level that they all showed, the toughness that they showed, that although one of their teammates, our leader was not on the floor with us. They did their job, and they understood that, hey, when one person goes down, it's the rest of us have to rise to the occasion. And that was great to see. So, it's a big game against two really good teams. And so it's a great challenge for us. North Carolina is very well coached. They're very good. They're very balanced in their scoring. I wish that, we had Grace Berger, but we don't. And so we will approach this game just like we would if we had Grace Berger. And our approach is to go in and execute the game plan that we have for our players and have success doing it.
If I could ask one more, or I can wait my turn, whatever.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Howard. Go ahead.
The efficiency that Mackenzie Holmes has displayed so far this year, she came in, she was already obviously so efficient around the rim, but if you look at the rim, she is 41 of 45 from the field finishing there. I think you alluded to it with the question of toughness, but what else goes into that? What's allowing her to turn from what was already an elite offensive player into someone who frankly is unmatched in terms of what she's doing to finish at the rim?
Well, I mean, again, Howard, and I've said this, and I'll continue to say it. I mean, she is a very special talent because she has extraordinary footwork, extraordinary hands, soft hands. And she's a worker. I mean, she works every single day. She wants to be the best at her position. She's a great teammate. She understands that if she's not scoring, there's other ways that she can help our team. But I'll give her teammates credit because they're finding her and they're putting her in positions to have success. So it works both ways. Yes, Mac is really, really good, but you also have to have teammates and players out there that can facilitate, that can find her, get her the ball. And, we've been able to do that. And so we've taken complete advantage of her skill set. But give credit to those kids around her. And she would say that. She would say, look, none of this is happening without the help of, those guards out there and in fours that are throwing me the ball. And so I think it's a combination of all those things. But she sure had she had a great special weekend in Vegas. There's no question with her efficiency and all of it. So I'm hoping that she has that kind of night tomorrow night, because we're going to need everything she has.
Thanks, Coach.
Haley.
Coach, I know that, Vegas was disappointing in terms of the venue, but Thursday will be anything but disappointing,
Right.
Two top 10 teams facing off against each other. How did that game come at the perfect time, especially after, this past tournament in Vegas?
Yeah, well, I had nothing to do with the timing of all of it, Haley, but, I'd hope that, I know a lot of students will show up tonight for the men's game. So maybe they'll just bring their sleeping bag and park it out here in the parking lot to return here for our game tomorrow night. But it would be great for us to be able to fill the stands, like we have with our committed fan base that's always shown up for women's basketball. But certainly if we could get the students involved, that would be really special, I think, for us. Much like the way that they showed up, for that Princeton game a year ago. That was really cool. And I know that our kids were appreciative and grateful because they sort of got us over the hump. I mean, that was all the way down to the wire. So having them in the stands, was really important and was really special for us. So I would like to think, and I hope we can get, those guys to come back and support us.
Tyler.
Coach, you just talked about the toughness of your team and kind of how quickly it's become evident to you this season. And with you guys having a lot of new faces, I guess, why do you think it's been able to come together that quickly just in terms of your toughness?
I just think they're mature. I think, when you have a kid like, Sarah Scalia, who's played at the Big Ten level, she's been through the grind of this great conference that we play in. And then, you have a kid like Sid Parrish, who's, played in the pack against the Stanfords and the Yukons and all that. I mean, there's just this level, I think, of maturity that comes when you play at a P5 school and you've played in these big moments and in these big games. And, and then you combine the fact that Mac and Grace and Chloe have also played in all these big games, right? So, you have kids out there that are not afraid of the moment. This is not new for them. This is not foreign to them. And so, I just think that from a maturity standpoint, but also from an experience, these kids have played in big time games. And so it doesn't, I guess, and maybe it wasn't the toughness, it's maybe the chemistry piece that's come together quite nicely for us. Because I think, when you spend a lot of time together, you're able to build your chemistry and your closeness and your bond as a team. And, I mean, it takes time, right? It's a process in itself to build relationships. And whether it's those transfers or, don't forget about the freshmen. It takes time to build those relationships. And, I'm not surprised because we have great human beings in our program. We have great kids. But you do, like I said, the last couple of years we've had our chemistry has been off the charts, so great. And everybody has bought into their role and everybody has tried to star in their role. And that's what makes a great team. There's sacrifices that have to be made day in and day out because you're going to all have different roles, whether you start, whether you come off the bench, whether you play 5 minutes, whether you play 25 minutes. Everybody has to make sacrifices, and it won't work if you have pieces on your team that are just not willing to buy into their role. And so that's happened, for us, for the most part.
Skip.
Good morning, Coach. I'm not sure what's going on in the Tar Heel halftime locker room, but for 3 consecutive road games now, North Carolina has trailed after 20 minutes of play, only to come back a completely new team in the second and third quarters, down by 17 against Iowa State this past weekend. At one point, wound up at the final buzzer up 9 or 10. Are you working on anything specific, telling the team or to ensure that there's no letting up for 40 straight minutes?
No, I Skip, our guys know that, they know it's always a 40-minute game. They watch just like you guys do. I mean, they watch games. They know that, that's the last 2 games that North Carolina has played, they've been down and they've come back. And, I'm sure both Iowa State and Oregon, have walked away saying we should have won that game, right? It was equally, in their hands to be able to do that. They didn't, but give credit to North Carolina. I mean, this is a good team. They're veteran too. They junior, senior, junior. I mean, they're experienced. Courtney's done a good job with them. They're, when you get to this level and you play these games, nobody's gonna stop playing just because they're down. I mean, it just doesn't happen at our level. And so no lead is ever safe, and we know that. We've been in enough games to know that. And we are more than aware that it's going to be a 40-minute game, no matter what the scoreboard, whether you're up, down, doesn't matter. It's going to be 2 really good teams that are going to be battling out tomorrow night. So, we're prepared for that.
Tyler, did you have another one? Is your hand still raised from earlier?
Yeah, I have another one.
Go ahead.
Coach, how would you describe Mackenzie's personality? And do you just have any favorite stories, I guess, that kind of speak to that?
Her personality, she has grown and changed so much. From the time that she was dropped off here in Bloomington 4 years ago. I mean, she was timid, unsure, shy, all of it, coming from Maine. And I don't think that she knew at the time how good she could become here. I think that we all felt like there was, in just watching her early in her career in the summers, that we felt like she had something, there was a specialness about her. I don't know that she really knew that until, she got into some games early as a freshman, and we could see the things that she was, had an opportunity or potential to become. And now she has flourished into one of our leaders, leader on this campus in terms of our athletic department. She's not met a stranger here. And I couldn't have been able to say that a couple years ago when she first got here. Very, very shy, very timid. And now she's a great representative of not just our program, but of this institution, because she can go out into the community. She can talk to donors. She can talk to recruits' parents. And she's very mature, very outgoing, wants to be a part of anything she can do to help us, this program, this school. She does. She loves being a student athlete here at Indiana. And if you have an opportunity to speak to her, you can tell right out of the gate that, but she's grown a whole lot. And that's the coolest part of my job, is to watch these young people come in here and watch them transform into these, older adults, and just watch them grow and become mature. And being a female coach, watching their confidence grow. And she's a confident young lady, and I couldn't have asked for, what a great thing. And again, she's, has more basketball ahead of her, but and that's what college does. It changes you. It changes you if you allow it to, because there's so many peaks and valleys and challenges, but she has embraced all of it and has become this strong female that's going to go out after her days at Indiana and continue to be successful.
Drew?
Yeah, Coach, going off of that point, you mentioned the basketball ahead of her. She said at the end of last week that she was planning on sticking around for the extra year that she gets due of eligibility due to COVID and everything. You may have known about that was what she was doing coming in. I don't know if that was a surprise to you or not, but just talk about kind of your reaction to knowing that she's planning on being around for another year, and keep that player you're just speaking highly of around here for even longer.
Yeah. Well, I think in her comment, quote me, Megan, I think she said, as of right now, that's the plan. She does have aspirations, I think, of becoming a pro at some point, and I'm hopeful that that'll happen for her. But, yes, absolutely. You're ecstatic that you got a kid like that, and that's what I, was alluding to. She loves being a student athlete, and she loves being a student athlete here at Indiana. And so, yeah, it's great that, that, although you have to allow the Allie Patbergs to leave and the Grace Bergers to leave. And then, but it's nice to know that, like a year ago, I knew Grace was going to come back. Right. So that was a good feeling to have. And so it's much like that. It's a great feeling to know that, Mackenzie Holmes will be part of what we're doing, next year as well.
Drew, did you have anything else for Coach?
Yeah, I'll kind of staying on topic about Mackenzie. You're speaking about her skill set earlier in this call. Is any of that something that she's considerably improved on or added to her game for this year, or has it just been taking what was already her skill set and just improving it across the board?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to take every ounce of credit, or Rhett would, for her footwork, but we can't do that. I mean, that is God-given. Absolutely. Now, what Coach Rhett has done is been the one committed to, showing up every single day with her, being on the floor with her, and just improving that skill set, or, that she already had. So, Coach Rhett has a lot to do with, and I think Mac would say that, in terms of her development. Rhett has been there every step of the way with her in doing that. So, but yeah, and I'll also add this, Kevin, our strength and conditioning coach, he's also been instrumental in helping her develop, because there is a strength piece to this, an agility, a flexibility, like all of that Kevin is responsible for in terms of getting our kids and their bodies right. He's played a major role in as well. So I think it was, God has just blessed her with great hands, great footwork. And then, she's just we've surrounded her with the right people that can continue to help her improve and get better.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, thanks.